Hey, it's Jeremy Paul Morgan. Today's video, I want to go over some more stuff about the December intensive that I'm learning. And today I was listening to one of the recordings and talking about how you're actually doing your marketing. Well, if you're somebody who's taking your marketing and you're following what you were taught, what you were told to say, you're being scripted and you're just taking copy and pasting it, and you're not creating your own and you're not being unique, then you're not going to stand out, and most people are just going to put your stuff aside and say, I've already seen that, that's not unique, that's not different. But when you take your marketing to a new level and you are yourself and you're just the epitome of what people want to see out there, because you're so unique and you're so refreshing that people just aren't used to seeing that. When you are yourself, you can't possibly look as ridiculous as you would if you are being scripted and being following a system that's everybody else is doing. Take for instance, there's a company out there, I won't name any names, but there's a company out there that uses a term that everybody uses with their marketing. Everybody. I see it all over the place with their marketing. And to be honest, I even said to myself, everybody is using it. They're even using it for their websites. They're creating URL, their own URLs that have this term inside of it. And I'm thinking to myself, it's getting kind of annoying. And I guarantee you I'm not the only one. So what you have to do with your marketing is make it yourself. Make yourself unique, because you are unique. And if you don't show people who you really are, then how do you expect anybody to want to follow you? Now, these are things that I've really and truly picked up on just over the last few months, is creating your own narrative, creating your own story, becoming you, and letting people see who you are. And that is why I actually decided to create this series of videos where I'm going to share some experiences about my life and about where I come from and about who I am. And I want to share one with you right now. Something that you don't know about Jeremy Paul Morgan. And this is number 2, because if you've already seen number 1, then you already know a little bit about me. But if you haven't, then jump on my list and just send an email to jpaul@perfectprofitstrategies.net, and you can even just send me the first video, so I know that you haven't seen the first video yet. But anyway, jump on my list there, and you're going to receive the next series of emails getting to know who I really am. So something you don't know about Jeremy, number 2. Alright, well, here goes. I was actually let's just say I was under the, how do I put it? Let's just say before the age of 18, I got to see the authorities more than once on 2 separate occasions. Okay, the first occasion was when I was 13 years old, and I got busted for throwing rocks at cars. Yeah, I did that. I know. So, and not only that, I actually did throw snowballs at cars too. So you think how dumb that was, looking back at it as an adult. And I can only imagine if somebody did that to me while I was driving, I would freak out. I would flip out, and I'd be very, very upset. So I can only imagine how that guy felt when, we damaged his car and he came chasing after us, and I won't mention anybody else who was with me, but because it's just about my life here. Now, what happened was, I'm 13 years old, and we're still doing the rock thing, and the guy comes back and hides on us and jumps out of the bushes and starts chasing us. So I was scared out of my mind, and he caught me, and he walked me all the way back to his house, which was about 2 miles away. At night, mind you, this is at night, and it was a scary thing for me to happen as a teenager. So, and the other occasion was when I was in high school. A bunch of us, my friends and I, it was probably a good 20 of us. We all decided to do a scavenger hunt, and that scavenger hunt, the things on the list, let's just say they weren't necessarily things that you normally would try to go after for a scavenger hunt, like a big giant metal blue mailbox, for instance, was one of the things, and let's say a flagpole, the McDonald's flag was one of the other ones. So imagine somebody trying to climb up a flagpole at McDonald's and taking the flag off of that. Yeah, one of the guys actually did that. It's pretty funny. And so what happened with that was we were driving along. We had all the stuff in the car, and one of the guys, groups in front of us in the car, had a old Corolla, old 1979 Corolla with no tail lights. It was raining out. The car I was in, the guy who was driving, it was his mom's car. The wipers didn't work. So what did the guys do? I was in the back with my friend, and there was two other guys in the front. The guys, they took string and they tied it to the wipers, and they were doing this with the wipers so that the wipers could work because it was raining. So while they were doing that, the car in front of us stops with a bunch of everybody else in there, and they had a stop sign in the car, and we had a tennis net, we had the big blue mailbox that we jumped and drop kicked down, and I landed on it and I busted my tailbone on. And so what happened was his taillights were out and he stopped in the middle of the road as we were driving, and the guy in the car I was with rear-ended him. So what happens? One of the guys in the neighborhood comes out of his house, says, "What happened?" Blah blah blah. So we all start freaking out. Kids are running and dragging stuff into the backyard of one of the neighbors' houses. And so what does the guy do? He calls the cops and he says, "Yeah, I saw these kids running in the back with some stuff." So ultimately, we got busted, and I'd say there was about 8 of us. We're all in court one day with our parents, and it was just a fun experience for us, let me tell you. So those are some, that's another thing that you don't know about me, about, from my childhood growing up. Those are a couple things that I went through, and they weren't something that obviously I'm proud of, but, looking back on it, it just kind of, the things that we do as a kid kind of molds us into a people we are. I never thought of myself as a bad person. I just did dumb stuff. Really dumb stuff. Because I've always had good intentions with people, and I always want people to like me, and but my mind just slips away sometimes, and it tends to do stupid things. So, and I think a lot of you can relate to that. So I just wanted to share that with you. That was things you don't know about Jeremy number 2. So stay tuned for the next video where I share some tips, and I will actually open up a little bit more about what I do and what I'm learning, and something else that you don't know about me. So thanks a lot. Make it a great day today.